Call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mr. Karate, please.
Mr. Accomando, Mrs. Borelli, Mr. Buffi,
Present.
Mr. Quinn,
Present.
Ms. Sanchez, Mrs. Scanapieco,
Present.
Mr. Singh,
Present.
Mrs. Ottarelli,
Present.
Mr. Garrett.
Present. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975.
Yeah, we have several presentations tonight. We're going to start out with our students. I introduce John Lawler, who's our middle high school principal, and he'll introduce the presentations to come.
Thank you, Dr. Katz, members of the Board of Education, and indeed, members of the public. We have a very special presentation tonight from students from our middle and high school. Kind of share some of the great programs that are happening here as we wind down the 2014-2015 school year. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our middle school vice principal, Brandon Hawkins, to introduce some first years. Thank you.
This evening we have two of our representatives from the middle school here to present, and they're going to be presenting, Anuj will be presenting about the Environmental Club, which was created to get our students energized and excited about taking care of the planet. So Anuj, can you come on up?
Good evening, board members, staff, and parents. I would like to tell you about Southwest Middle School and High School Environmental Club. The Environmental Club was an area that consists of an active learning environment where kids can get a first-hand look at nature. In the environment, when I first heard of the Environmental Club, I thought it wasn't as great as I thought it was. I heard people say that all you do is to plant a few flowers and water a garden. But soon I realized all the opportunities and all the moments I would have missed and regretted if I didn't join this club. Members of the Environmental Club meet every Wednesday, 3 to 4. In these meetings, we learn about different plants, animals, and their behavior and how they function. This is taught to us, so it shows us how our actions affect others. Even with the smallest of ants to birds to ducks and big forest creatures, everyone gets affected. We also help and nourish our own animals in the Environmental Club, and it shows us the precious value of life. Besides learning, we also maintain our courtyard. Mrs. Dunlap and her first Environmental Club students have the courtyard for 7 years. We, right now, as her previous members, we maintain the courtyard by fixing and planting new flower beds, vegetable gardens, and bird populations. We benefit from this, from having the courtyard, because many people say it calms them and that they love looking and interacting with the wildlife. The Environmental Club works outside when the vegetation is growing, during the seasons that could grow. But from November to December, we do more. The plants don't grow that season, but we don't want to stop helping them. So during those seasons, the students come together by themselves and think of different ideas and topics that are problems in our world today. And with those topics, we create a lesson plan. That lesson plan was supposed to be taught and presented to the 5th grade students of all the elementary schools. We do this because we want to teach others of what we learned, and we want to show them how important the environment is. After we prepare our lesson plans, we do different activities, and each group thinks of a game to make up. And with that game, we do different prizes, and that really entertains the kids and shows them and recaps what we taught them. We spend time making props and other posters to put around everywhere to inform everyone. And this really helps us in general because we learn how to be independent and get good group working skills. And it taught us responsibility and how to become a teacher and how hard it is to work. From all these attributes that we do, I never ask anything in return. The Environmental Club does all of this by helping others, helping nature, and helping ourselves because I would have never done everything I did until now if it wasn't for the environmental club, because I can't ask for anything greater than what we've become today because of that. Thank you.
That was a great job, News, thank you. Next we have Julia, and she's going to tell us about Battle of the Books, which is a reading intensive program that was designed to encourage students to read quality literature. Julia?
Hello, my name is Julia McAlevey and I'm an 8th grader. For both my years at Saddlebrook Middle School, I participated in Battle of the Books. This is a competition for 7th and 8th graders. Anyone can participate. It is an amazing competition and I am glad that it is offered by the school. For Battle of the Books, you are required to read at least 6 books. There is a selection of 15 books to choose from. I love this aspect of the competition because I know that 6 books may seem like a lot to read, but you have more than enough time. You sign up around October and we have our competition in March. That is roughly 6 months to complete the reading. Once you finish reading a book, you prepare 5 questions about it. These questions will later be used in the competition. Now this may sound like a ton of pressure. I felt the same thing when I first joined. What if I forget what I read? What if there's a question about a book I didn't read? It's not that scary. We practice every Friday during lunch. This club also doesn't interfere with any other clubs. It's perfect for people who actively participate in sports and other out-of-school activities. Battle of the Books is done in teams, so you are never alone. It is not your typical oral quiz or spelling bee. It is a team activity. The questions are all structured in a certain way. They each describe a scene or main idea of a book. The teams are asked to give an answer, including the name and author of the book. It is that simple. Ms. Reynolds, the media specialist, prepares us for this competition. The Saddlebrook Middle School teams with the top 2 scores attend the competition against Leonia Middle School. For the past 2 years, we have beat Leonia. This is an honorable achievement for Saddlebrook. One of the best things about Battle of the Books is that once you complete the competition, no matter if you win or lose, you now have 100 points to add to your language arts grade. You could use the points to boost up your test or quiz grades, or even skip the final. Last year, I took the opportunity to skip the final since I already had a high English grade. I'm going to be completely honest. Last year, I first signed up for the 100 points. Many kids did the same. Now thinking back on it, I got so much more out of it than 100 points. I learned teamwork, healthy competition, hard work, and most of all, I found my love of reading. I'm not going to lie, elementary school was a walk in the park. I was smart and always got A's, so I figured, why should I read? What would I get out of it? Every book placed in front of me, I know I could read, and I did. But how would it benefit me? I never found any enjoyment or pleasure in reading. It was always encouraged of me because both my parents are teachers and my mom is an English teacher, no less. This competition made me realize that reading is essential for a good education and to be successful in everything I do. I would recommend this competition to anyone, no matter if they love reading or not. There is nothing but benefits from Battle of the Books. Thank you for inviting me to speak, and thank you for being a great audience.
Thank you, Julia, and Mr. Coffey. Back in September, when we started our new school year, we had discussed with our staff and community and our students that we'd like to start some new initiatives to really improve our school climate. And really to take advantage, as we see with our environmental club, that we are a 7 to 12 school and give opportunities for our high school students to really serve in leadership roles. Our biggest initiative this year and progress in that is the Teen Pet program. And Teen PEP stands for Teen Prevention Education Program. It's a group or a class of seniors that will meet next year in place of their health class. And they'll discuss topics like preventing pregnancy, sexually transmitted infections, and also making positive decisions, and also drug and substance awareness. We will partner with our freshman class to have these outreach sessions to discuss these issues and really serve as leaders. Under the guidance of their 2 advisors, Mrs. Sarmiento and Mrs. Frazier, they made great progress so far. So again, what's great about this program, it is a partnership with the New Jersey Department of Health. And through those grants, this program comes to Saddlebrook free of charge. And that includes all the professional development for our teachers, the curriculum for the course, all the training that they require, and the guidance from the staff and the Center for Supportive Schools. Just to give you a quick kind of a comparison, they offer different types of programs to schools. They to upwards of $30,000. So this is a great opportunity for our school, and also through the generosity that we found out today from the Saddlebrook Education Foundation. One big highlight for the students is their bonding retreat that comes up at the end of the school year, and that's going to be funded in great part by the Saddlebrook Education Foundation. So at this time, I'd like to tell you from their perspective, our first group of Team Pep that will start next year. We have 4 students: Caitlin, Delilah, Sanduka, and Arzu. So please give them a big warm welcome.
Yeah, well, it was actually, my name is Caitlin, but it was actually pretty hard to get into Team Pep. There was a lot of steps we had to go through. First, they brought in kids from another school that have had Team Pep for a very long time, and they showed us what it would mostly be like. And after that, that's what got us all interested. So they handed out permission slips, and we brought it home to our mom, that type of thing. And then our advisors, yeah, they like, I guess, interviewed our teachers or like said something like to see if we were good kids, and I don't know, tried to evaluate us, yeah. And then after that, a lot of kids didn't get in because of referrals and stuff like that. There was still a lot of kids, so we did a group interview. And the group interview was pretty much just questions that were sexually topics, yeah, and kind of like scenarios. And after that, then we had the single, what was it, interview? So solo interview, single interview, yeah. And then I guess they cut a lot of people out after that. So pretty much
Hi guys, I'm Delilah. After that, we had the trip where we met a lot of people who have previously been in the program, and it was pretty amazing. We had many different workshops. I don't know if you want to call them workshops, same difference. We had like certain groups that split up, and we had certain like classes or whatever, and they had activities where we shared with each other. They gave us like certain scenarios and kind of like reflected on the idea. For example, in my group, we spoke about sexual preference and like being gay or lesbian or bisexual, and they put a scenario where it's like, what if the roles were reversed and being straight was what was like more of the outcast idea, and it was, I don't know, it was hard to imagine, and so it gave me a really good perspective that I had not looked at, and I thought it was really amazing because it opens up your mind. So it gave me a great idea about the program, and they also taught us a lot. I learned a lot from that day alone. I'm pretty sure like the rest of the next year is going to be ridiculous because, well, from the day I learned so much. I learned that Advil, amongst other things, expire, and I did not know that. Caitlin is laughing because we were stuck on that for a while. So I thought it was great, and I learned so much from that day, and we had an activity also where, it's gonna sound silly, but we had like a hula hoop, and we all had to join hands, and nobody could speak, and we had to figure out a way to get the hula hoop all the way around without talking or communicating. And of course, Southbrook dominated, but whatever. No, we were good, but we saw like certain people struggle, and it just stressed the importance of communication and teamwork. And I just think that the program foreshadows a lot of great things for our school, and I think nonetheless, we should continue the program. It's a great program, so thank you.
Hi, I'm David, and on June 3rd, Junior Achievement gave us a grant to go to Franklin School and teach little kids about financial literacy. We were able to get a feel of what it was going to be like to teach little kids, because we're going to be teaching freshmen next year about health. So it gave us it helped us a lot about how to work in the classroom, how to work with the, other students, stuff like that, communicate. and it was a lot of fun. Students like taught, after we came back, they sent us postcards and stuff like that. It was really cool. It helped us like with our leadership a lot too. We were able to, I don't know, we were able to teach a lot of things there. So, yes.
Good evening, my name's RJ. So on June 19th, we had a Team Pep retreat, which is when we were at the Day of Learning, actually, there was a lot of experienced Team Pep programs, established programs, and all of them, they all asked you, oh, did you go on a retreat yet? Did you go on a retreat yet? Because retreat, you know, all Team Pep programs go on this type of retreat, and it's a retreat that allows you as Team Pep educators as a group to become closer, and because the topics you're talking about are not always most comfortable, they're sometimes a little awkward and a little weird to speak about. So you have to be able to be comfortable with the people you're teaching with. So this Team Pep retreat, which we're going on, is 3 days, and we're gonna be with each other, stranded. So we'll be all together, and it'll be a good experience to make friends and to learn how to communicate, to learn how to work as a team, and that's very important when we're in the classroom teaching freshmen, to learn how to be good teammates with each other and be able to share information with each other and with the freshmen that we're going to have. So we're all excited for this. This is like the fun thing, kick off summer with a Team Pep retreat. So we're all excited about that. So yeah, thank you very much. All right, thank you everybody. And one of the really exciting highlights of this so far has been kind of like the initiation or induction ceremony that we had in this room about 2 or 3 months ago. It was really great when we had all 25 students from the class and their parents. This room was packed with 50 people. You could just feel the excitement, and to really hear the kids say, I can't wait for the retreat, I can't wait to be role models for younger students, I can't wait to make new friends. What we have is a nice cross-section of our school. The students who might normally have hung out the past 12 years in Saddlebrook schools now kind of working together. So it's really exciting forward. Thank you for your support.
Thank you to all of our students who presented. I know it's not easy to stand up, and we have a big group of people here tonight, so it's really a difficult and can be a very intimidating thing to stand up in front of everybody. So everybody did a great job, and we really appreciate it. And the one thing that stands out to me is we're always trying to look for things outside of the classroom that can help kids be connected to their school and help our students work together. And all three of our presentations tonight really have that common theme of helping them to find things of interest that could help them grow and provide some enrichment outside of the regular curriculum. So we're pleased that we have those programs, and again, congratulations to our students for your presentations tonight, and we appreciate you participating in these events as well. That's an alarm you can just ignore. Our next presentation tonight is from our Saddlebrook Education Foundation. In the past, the foundation had awarded individual teacher grants and then moved away from that for a little while, and instead decided to donate money in a different way to the school district that more funded large-scale projects. And this year and moving forward, they've made a new commitment again, or a renewed commitment, back to funding individual teacher grants, which I think is great because we have so many teachers who have so many ideas and so many initiatives, and obviously many of them are here tonight to receive those awards. So I'm pleased to introduce Angela Robinson and a group of people who will all introduce themselves, right? I know there's a lot of people here from the foundation to award those grants, so thank you for being here.
As Dr. Kat said, I'm Angela Robinson. I'm on the foundation. I've been on the foundation since the beginning in 2003. We have given and donated back to the students of Saddlebrook probably close to $90,000 for different things that we have done, technology as well as grants. We decided to go back to the grant awarding this year, and we're very happy about that. Just a few plugs. We did our first 5K this year. We made a decent amount of money. And remember, every dollar we raise goes directly back to the school. That's our only purpose. We give out scholarships. We were able to give out 4 $1,000 scholarships this year. We're giving out over $6,000 in grants, and we're planning on doing the same thing in the fall. So we're trying to keep it going. We have the walkathon every fall. This year it's October 19th, where the kids walk in the schools. You'll have your envelopes early this year, because I heard last year they got late, but we'll get them early. And that's a nice fundraiser that kids to walk, and the money goes directly to the foundation. So keep your eyes open for what we're doing. We're trying to enhance and enrich the education of our students. So with that being said, I have a lot of foundation members here. I'd like them to come over here just a moment. So I have Georgia Cupo, Linda Escobar, Kathy Lau, Mary Ellen Gallo, Emmy Sicca Metalis, from I can't pronounce her last name. I have Michael Cupo, I have Grace Plum, and Sue Laurentino. We still have more members, but most of the people here have been involved for many years. We're a small group of people who do a lot of things, and Dave Garrett, our board president, is also part of the foundation and helped us a lot with our 5K as it was basketball. So we do a lot of work for a small group. We are inviting anyone who'd like to join. We'll get some information out, and just know that's what we do. So this year, we got approximately 11 grants. We're able to award 6 of the 11, and we can start by doing our presentation. So the first grant is money for the Teen Pep retreat. So we're funding a part of that. So I wanted to give that one first to Mr. Laurel. I think it was starting at Ms. Frazier. So thank you very much. We got a wonderful request for 5 3D printers for the schools. And we thought that was a really innovative idea, except we couldn't fund 5 of them because they're pretty expensive. So we decided that for this year we will do 1, and I think in order of preference they said for the high school to start, and hopefully we can do more in the future, encouraging the teachers to resubmit those grants back for the following year. And there's like 5, 6 teachers on here, so I'm going to read them all, and whoever's here can come up. So I have Kate Pritchard, Jonathan Hill, Michaela Viscardi, Lisa Seitz, Ricky Wolf, Rich Kolowski, Linda Marcus, and Brian Mulaney. So if anyone's here, come on up. And we want to present this to you. So, all right, you're welcome. Our next grant is for Ann Jager from Franklin School. It was for her making invention kits. We know it was very good. Next we have Gail Margolis from Smith School. I don't think she's here though, right? She couldn't make it. So we have a, actually this was for a Liberty Science traveling program where the Liberty Science Center comes to the school and does science programs. So we were happy to do that one. So I'll just another one was for an outside classroom at Smith School, and this is with Joe Mora, Christina Turila, Jennifer Paris, and Susan Laurentino. I have a guest for that, right? And last but not least, we have for the Long Memorial School, classroom writing centers. We have that for Daniel Allen and Ariana Duke. They're not. So congratulations to everyone. Please, we're going to do it again in the fall. We're trying to, the more money we raise, the more money we can give. So if you support our 5Ks and our walkathons and our Taste of the Towns and anything that we do, that would be wonderful. And then again, this all goes right back to the students. So thank you.
So thank you again to all of the members of the foundation for the work you do, and obviously for extending the opportunity to the teachers to acquire these grants, because we're really fortunate to have that kind of support and that kind of teamwork for our district. So thank you. And it's actually a really good transition to the final presentations, which are to honor our retirees this year. Because as we look at everything that we do moving into the future, without the foundations that the people who are moving on and leaving the district have set for us, we really wouldn't be able to accomplish those things. So thank you to all of our retirees for really laying the foundation, kind of no pun intended, but laying the foundation for us to be innovative and move into the future. I'll start by asking Mr. Kuzmano, principal of Franklin School, to come up, and I know 3 of our retirees tonight are here from Franklin School. Mr. Kuzmano will say a few words about each of them. We can clap for Mr. Kuzmano.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. We have 3 retirees from Franklin School. One of them retired earlier in the year, and 2 are retiring now. The first one is Barbara. She was our reading specialist. Her education career spanned 30 years, 17 of which were as our reading specialist. Barbara was a dedicated teacher who expertly honed the reading and writing skills of countless students. The students loved receiving instruction in her cozy room set up with a small couch, student armchair, and a palm tree. Many times they would not want to leave. She was a teacher's teacher and would be readily available to work with her colleagues by modeling lessons in their classroom or giving suggestions of strategies and materials to use with their students. She taught me many things about reading that I also didn't know. Barbara was a team player. When anyone needed something, she'd always respond, "What can I do to help?" At times, she would put on the principal's hat when I was out of the building. Between Louise and Barbara, that's Louise Ardito, our school secretary, aka vice principal. Our school was in good hands. And Barbara also had a wonderful rapport with parents. She would give the parents helpful strategies and concrete ways for them to become partners in their child's learning. Through the years, parents of her former students would come back and tell Barbara of their child's success and thank her. Although she is greatly missed at Franklin School, I know she is enjoying a well-deserved retirement.
Retirees, it says presented to Barbara Barlow. Well, only this one says. In grateful recognition for your years of dedicated service with the Saddle Brook Board of Education. Presented by the Board of Education, June 10th, 2015.
I could just take a moment of the board's time to tell you how fortunate I have been to be a teacher for 30 years. And I've taught in several districts, but from the bottom of my heart, the best place that I've ever taught was Saddle Brook and Franklin School. And being a reading specialist is a very, very special position. I always imparted the skills and strategies for our students, but for me, it was the most important thing was to instill that love of reading for the students, to have that so that they could be lifelong readers. I was also really fortunate to work with consummate professionals. The staff at Franklin School was just the best. We supported each other's efforts and we really worked with one another, and I can tell you from working in other places that basically that support, that care, that respect for one another is a rare occurrence when you're working in a school, and it was really wonderful. Best principal was Sal Gismano. He ran a tight ship, but we all worked together, and his one thing was Barbara, and for everyone, we work as a team, and together we achieved success for everyone. And so I just want you to know how privileged I was to work in Franklin School's team and in this district of Saddle Brook. Thank you very much.
Our next retiree is Joan Sluka. Joan began working for the Saddle Brook School District in September of 1987 at Washington School, where she was a part-time early training teacher, supplementing instruction for grades K-1-2. Joan continued working in the program when she arrived at Franklin School in 1992. After that program discontinued, she became a basic skills teacher, supporting instruction to grades 3 through 6, as well as continuing to help struggling students in the early grades. During the school year of 2009-10, Mrs. Sluka was the remaining basic skills math teacher, and so she became a full-time teacher who traveled to Long Memorial and Smith schools, as well as remaining at Franklin. Over the last few years, she has remained solely at Franklin School, supplementing math as well as language arts. In retirement, she plans to travel, socialize with retired teachers, and enjoy relaxing in her free time. And I do want you to know that Joan also is a consummate team player at Cole Connor literally every single day. Thank you.
I would just like to say that I'd just like to thank everyone for this honor. And I will miss everyone. And I've really enjoyed teaching here all these years. Thank you.
And our third retiree is Louisa Ardito, who has been employed by the Saddlebrook School District for 29 years, the last 21 as Franklin School's secretary. And then what I'm going to read, part of this is directly from the evaluation that I wrote for Louise. As Franklin School principal, I've had the honor and pleasure of working with Mrs. Ardito for the past 13 years. Mrs. Ardito is so much more than our school secretary. Indeed, she is my right-hand woman. In fact, when I was absent for bereavement, my pastor asked me who was managing Franklin School in my absence, and without hesitation I quipped, same person as when I'm present, my secretary. And I meant it too, then and daily. I humbly thank God for blessing me with the opportunity to co-manage Franklin School with such a dedicated partner as Louise Ardito.
Just want to say Franklin School is still recovering from my retirement party last night. Where I was repeatedly referred to as the vice principal, the person in charge, the number one person. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. Caslano was the number one person in our school. He was the best principal.
Mr. Lawler, to speak about Randy Welch.
Thank you. I got a call this afternoon from Ms. Galvin in the board office, reminding me to make sure that I was coming tonight to present Ms. Mills for retirement. She also reminded me that, John, this is not a roast. Just go in there and be serious. And I said, yeah, of course, this is a serious event. But as I was driving over here, I'm thinking, going the route of the straight man with this would not really do Randy justice of who she is as an educator, a counselor, and now that she's retiring, I'm dead friends with that. Sense of humor is something I think that defines Randy, and I think it's something that you have to have as a middle school guidance counselor. So I'm going to do one line for this, okay? Randy Milch. Randy Milch has seen 11 administrators. 11 administrators come and go from Saddlebrook Middle and High School. And had she stayed on another year, we'd make that number 12. But, all right, that's why I'm a principal, not a stand-up. But, we always say we're all replaceable, and I find that hard to say about Randy, in that we have seen so many people come and go from our middle high school, and she really provides a connection to the past and what the school is, what it's about. And I've only worked with Randy for 3 years now, and I'm going to really miss Randy. It's been a real pleasure working with you. I think a real tribute to an educator, whether they're a counselor or a teacher, is when the kids come back to see her. And, her class, her office is always packed with high school students who are coming back to see her to talk about how they've grown and changed and some of their problems. And Randy's always there to give good advice, always there with a sense of humor, and we're going to miss you. So, congratulations.
Police Department. He retired October 1st, 2014, after working over 17 years in the district. He also served as a transportation coordinator, coordinating all the routes, received calls late at night, early in the morning. He was a dedicated, dependable hard worker. When I was hired, retired, he said, as long as Ray Curry is coordinating all the routes, I have nothing to worry about. He was right about that. Ray would always bring issues to me, the transportation, broken down buses, so unanticipated field trips, and he always come up with solutions, and we appreciate that. He always did what's right for the students. When we were short-staffed in the summers for custodians, we stepped up and got everything done to make sure folks were ready for summer school. We enjoyed, or I think we enjoyed, going around to the schools, dressed up as Santa Claus. And also, what I really liked was he dressed up as a bagpiper. Looked like he had fun, and he could smile on the kids' faces, and that was great. Ray was a great asset, and just wish you the best.
Always a pleasure working with the children and your staff. Thank you very much.
I would like to congratulate all the retirees, wish them a long, healthy, and happy retirement. May I have a motion to take a 5-minute recess? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. May I have a motion to reconvene the meeting? Motion to reconvene?
So moved.
Second? Second. Second to reconvene? You got it, Karen? Second. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only? Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Residents are requested to state their names, addresses, subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible for and liable for their comments.
Good evening, Tracy Sullivan, 180 North Drive. Nutrition plays an important part of a child's school day. I personally witnessed some issues I have with the current lunch program at Smith Elementary School. Employees stacking trays on top of another while containing food is completely unsanitary. Small children cannot easily access food items located in the farm stand, which are where our fruit and vegetable selections are held. There is no supervision while children who can reach are handling unwrapped food such as olives, carrots, pickles, some with their hands. The variety of fruits and vegetables doesn't seem to vary from day to day or week to week. I view carrots that were literally white get wrapped and put in the fridge to assumably be reused. For most kindergartners, which my daughters are, this is their first experience independently selecting and eating foods. They don't often make wise decisions. If I'm paying for a half a cup of fruit and 1 cup of vegetables, I would prefer it to be on their trays. I was also under the impression that the fruit and vegetable of the month, which is displayed on the menu, is available during that month. This apparently is not the case. I was eager to see the new healthier market fresh options that were added in about March of this year. I was very disappointed to see 2 small chicken fingers on my daughter's tray, and that was for $3.75. I also encourage my 2 kindergarten September to May, I was charged $1 for this. Then all of a sudden, May 1st, I began being charged 50 cents. Have I been wrongly charged for 8 months? How many others were wrongly charged for 8 months? There's no reason why this size bottle of water should cost me $1. I would hope it was an innocent mistake and not intentional. I appreciate the food program, however, I feel that many improvements can be made.
Thank you.
Carolyn Jennifer, 80 Park Street. As Tracy mentioned before, I also witnessed my daughter also receiving, pretty very small individual pieces of chicken, some of which I've seen that were raw or uncooked, or looked uncooked. Our children at the age of 5 also are, quite tiny and cannot reach the food that happens to be the tray where the individuals, carrots and pickles and whatnot are. So they can't reach over. So hence the reason why only one of the children actually use their hands, but they can't even see it. So if they don't see it, they're not going to choose it. So, something more applicable that would be for them, height-wise. Also, again, as Tracy mentioned, the sanitary piece of stacking trays up together where the food is touching, it's already on there and being served to children. So, again, I also do agree that there could be some more changes made.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Tracy Sullivan, letting you know. I forgot to also mention, how many other, times I feel that I've been overcharged. My 5-year-old who weighs 35 pounds soaking wet one day wrapped up a $8.50 bill for one day, and I called to question it, and I was told that she had purchased 3 hot dogs. And I said, "Are you sure?" And they said, well, the reasoning was, well, sometimes the little kids like to buy things for their friends. So I don't know if someone is monitoring this. I've also seen the smaller aged children go up with the chicken nuggets, say this for the day, and 3 snacks, Cheez-Its, fruit snacks, and another pack of fruit snacks. I mean, if the child has money in the lunch account, that's fine, but shouldn't someone kind of be monitoring what the child is taking? I mean, 3 snacks over, a vegetable or a fruit, I'm sure the parent would want to know that this is happening to the child. And the fact that there was more of a selection with Cheez-Its, fruit snacks, Rice Krispie treats, whatever it is, over fruits and vegetables, I just feel like that needs to be changed.
Thank you.
I was at the meeting with Antonian when we discussed the changes we made for the menu, so that more children are liking what they're eating, so that they can eat something healthy. They made a few promises and did make some adjustments. The only thing is that there's nobody monitoring that they actually have a fruit and vegetable on the plate that has, and is mandatory for the refund back to the school or whatever like that. So if someone I think would be there, just to have a little bit more control of what's going on with the food, make sure that these children are getting exposed to fruits and vegetables. Some of them don't even know it's there. And maybe we should have them meeting again with them and discuss how people probably just, like the vegetables. I know it falls under certain areas. I know that tomato sauce on the meatball counts as the vegetable. So I know that there's little loopholes there, but maybe we could try to really bear the whole menu and maybe more stable. More contract, right? So we don't know how much choice to speak of, but maybe we could actually show them that we are willing to move elsewhere if they don't try to get away from this.
Thank you.
Hi, Jennifer Wing, 400 Bay Sour Road. I just want to reiterate a couple of things I said Monday. I know I did already speak about my concerns about Antonian, and I do agree that this is not the right direction for our district. But I do think that should we be stuck with them for another year, like it kind of sounded like it might be, we do need to look into the possibility of getting better quality foods, and even if parents have to contribute a little bit more. My daughter's been in the district since first grade, and I think it's maybe fluctuated 10 cents since then. I know other districts do use
Pontonian, and their kids get a lot better food than ours do. So, I don't know what needs to be done, but clearly, many people agree that this is not the right company or the right program right now for our district.
Thank you.
Good evening. Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue. Before we start, I would just like to point out the agenda. I'm wondering the award of the contract with this company in which we're going to guarantee a profit of $40,000 is somehow attached to the faculty lunch price of $4. If you not want to know who made the contract, I believe that if the high school students are paying $275, they don't have a job. But the faculty, come on, some of you make over $150,000. I don't think that is right. But if we're going to have to penalize actually the district and guarantee this company a $40,000 profit, I don't think that is the right thing. Moving on with the agenda, on item number 6, where it says approve the purchase of computers and computer-related equipment, I will suggest that the board made an effort on itemize how many computers we are going to buy. From there, I gotta assume that it's a state contract. We are talking about the amount of $87,000. It doesn't say how many computers. It could be 1, it could be 10, it could be 100. As well as the Apple computers, 27,000. I don't know if it's 1 computer, 5 computers, or so. The last meeting, day before yesterday, I asked, and this is going to be the last time that I encouraged Board of Ed members elected for the people, by the people, to actually get a tablet from the school district. I heard several comments, and I would like Mr. Quinn to explain it to us what happened when he got an issue with anything going on. Does he bring his computer from home here, or can he check the device that is put in just for the show today? Anything that I can ask him for 3 months ago. By the way, I would like, Mr. Quinn, if you can you just tell me what was the, unfortunately, as we signed in this particular person, but it's public records, it's right here, I can mention, Christian Jurgensen. Can you please look in your tablet and tell me what was his salary contract through the chair, if I may, to see just how much information he might have at his fingertips. Ladies and gentlemen, a tablet costs $50. When I heard that I want those resources back into the school or to the kids, it's a joke. There are bigger items to worry about, in which we are wasting thousands and thousands of dollars. Some of the teachers are being penalized when the administration is not. You should lead this school district by example. Since I hear nothing from Mr. Quinn, I guess he cannot get the information. I was told on Tuesday that it was not salary, that it was not on the salary. It was the job was posted, and actually it was in the public meetings, and I have it at a $52,000 salary for a custodian. My question the day before yesterday was, if the person is coming at a salary, is the person responsible for punching? I believe that it's a good business practice to lead by example. Everyone should sign in, regardless whether you make $200,000 or whether you make $20,000. It's good for the school district, it's good for the insurance purposes, and it's good business policy. You cannot penalize teachers, students, or anyone when actually the people responsible for leadership in this town are not doing so. And I'm sure that Mr. Karate or Mr. Katz will have no problem on signing a sheet. Because who's taking care of the house? How do you know if one day they're not here, that thing will be considered vacation or personal day? I will move on with that. And the investment of $350 against 7 members of $50 each comment, when I heard that, that is a joke. Because we can save thousands and thousands of dollars in the use of cell phones. Thousands of dollars that it costs us a year. That will make more sense to the school district and putting more money into the classroom for the kids and improve the rates. I'm bringing from the bottom that we are to the top. And I will continue coming here and fighting for what is right. Because how many months I've been saying that is not right. That people are so greedy, making over $150,000 to $200,000 with all the bonuses. And on top of that, we're in the contract that it says that we have to provide it to every single person with a cell phone. And then when we offer it, they say it's a technicality, they cannot provide the records. Fine. But then again, it's not a good business practice also. It should be a policy that whomever is going to take a cell phone, it should be open to Oprah and it should be called a carrier to provide an itemized bill. Because no one should be doubtful if they're doing what is correct during the school hours. So with that, I want to just say that whenever I Oprah a document that I haven't done it lately, not because I don't have too many issues, but I have a lot, but because they're not complying properly. All of you, when I say all of you, I'm referring to the elected officials. You are the ones that are being elected. When I request or anyone else requests for an opera, you should have it. You should be able to know what I'm talking about when I'm requesting. Last time I request documents, it was the timesheets for 2 weeks of a particular department. In this case, was the maintenance and custodians. One person was missing, the head of the department.
Mr. Rodriguez, I hate to interrupt you, it has to be for agenda items only at this time.
Okay, since it's for agenda items, I'm gonna just relate this to the, well, not to the resignation, I'll wait for the end of the, then under agenda items. How come there are some positions on the agenda tonight, some of them are showing the rate, hourly or salary, and some others do not show? Is there any reason? Is just inconsistent, or is just a typo?
I believe there are some transfers, so,
Oh, but
and some of the.
it's not supposed to be salary or to show salary or hourly rate? Just wondering.
There are some pending the contract negotiations.
Well, the ones that are pending contract negotiation is shown by an asterisk and says pending contract negotiation. In this particular case, it doesn't say nothing. It doesn't show salary, it doesn't show an hourly rate. And I can just refer specifically to item number 9 on the personnel. I know a person, but I'm just wondering if it's an inconsistency or just a typo. I will continue with my comments at the end.
I think that was a transfer, Mr. Rodriguez.
That's what I'm saying. When it's a transfer, you don't post the salary or the hourly rate.
I think that's why it's not posted.
Same salary, she already has.
Same
No, that's what I'm saying.
same salary, yeah.
Whether
Yes.
the public knows or not, that's the result. But when it's a transfer, you don't show.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else wish to address the board? May I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, President Garrick. This evening I have for approval the minutes for May, checks for May, and transfers and board secretary and treasurer's reports for the month of April.
Motion to accept?
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Buffi?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Canipico?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Ottaveli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrick?
Yes.
That concludes my report.
Okay. Casper Student Representative Report, please.
I have no reports from any of the elementary schools. For middle school and high school, as the school years come to an end, because the middle school is going to have summer fun. In the previous years, 8th graders had got a picnic at a Veterans Field, and it was only for the 8th graders, so because they got to play around for the day, it was a nice little day to relax. But this year, it's being changed, and it's actually becoming a field day for 7th and 8th graders. Because go with the help of Ms. Comfy and the PTO, all the middle schoolers are separated into teams, given T-shirts, and they're going to be doing different activities throughout the day. Food will be provided, and there will also be some high school volunteers helping out. So that's coming up actually this Friday, and it's going to be a really fun day. It seems like. Also for the middle school, they have their promotional exercise, which is their version of the graduation, and that's coming up next Thursday. And for the high school, okay, let's start off with the academic award ceremony. That was just the past month, and a lot of students got awarded. I didn't get to go, but I heard that was a very fun time. The senior scholarship banquet happened. Prom, the seniors had an amazing time. Graduation is coming up next Friday, and at 6 p.m. I believe, at the football field. And finally, the final exams are coming up for the students. A lot of students are really excited because of what got passed earlier. If you have an A average, you're exempt. So a lot of kids were happy about that. I have many friends who are very happy of either coming to school late or not coming to school at all if they can't afford the day. And that's all the educational one. I have one report for sports. Is that I want to I would like to. I don't know what's the word for it. Yeah. I'd like to congratulate a sophomore from the track team for going all the way to the state championships for track and placing 9th in the whole state of New Jersey. He's right now he's the best in all the Group 1 schools, and he's 9th in the whole New Jersey. So he's gonna lead the team to some greatness, and hopefully we'll see a lot of success from him. And that's the whole report.
Thank you. Thank you, Casper. Dr. Katz?
I have nothing additional to report from Monday. Thank you, Casper. So we'll move into the agenda.
Agenda items.
Okay. Motion for student services, items 1 through 9.
Motion to accept.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? 1 through 9. Mr. Karati, roll call, please.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gira?
Yes.
Okay, and curriculum, motion for items 1 through 8.
Motion to accept.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just a reminder, so number 1 are the textbook adoptions that Christine Steiner and Chris Duval presented on this past Monday night. Item 2 is the summer program that Ann Jager presented to us last month. Items 3 and 4 are the 2 new special education programs in our budget for next year. Item number 5, Mr. Ortega was here on Monday night to present that to us. Item number 7, the 504 manual. We reviewed that in curriculum committee. Mrs. Madison presented all of that, and then just some additional curriculum writing in addition to what we approved last month.
Any additional discussion? Any additional discussion? On the roll call. Mr. Crum?
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gira?
Yes.
Okay, section C, motion for items 1 through 13.
Motion to accept. So moved. Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd like to discuss number 3.
So would I.
Questions?
Monday night, I brought up possibly putting this back out to bid, and I was told it was almost impossible, but I think we should revisit that and try to do whatever we could based on what my feeling was prior to this, but with the additional information, I'm just letting you know I'm voting no for this.
I was just a little disappointed with the amount of bids that we got in return. How many bids that we got. I'm disappointed with the amount of bids. I mean, that's something we can't control, but something so important.
I'm just concerned about the timeline. Are you done, Mr. Ruffey? I'm just concerned about the timeline at this point. I want better lunches for our students, we all do. We had one bid. If we do put it out to bid, Mr. Karate, could we, I mean, how are we gonna, I know we can't solicit bids. We can't solicit companies to bid on this. We had one company come out and bid. I mean, I would like to try to put it back out there. I don't know what the timeline's gonna be. I wanna make sure that our students do have lunches for September. I'm willing to come back and have another meeting if we have another company come and willing to, take it on. And we have to make sure that this other company is better than what we have now. Okay, because we contract somebody else and we're worse off. We have to consider that as well. So, I mean, if we put it back out to bid, Mr. Karati, what do you think?
Like, what would the timelines be as far as that happening?
We're almost at mid-June. It needs at least 10 to 15 days in the newspaper, then time to submit proposals. If we do get multiple proposals back, I would think the Buildings and Grounds Cafeteria Committee would sit with each one. We have to get days for that to review. The companies do come in and do a walkthrough. The cafeterias will be closed by then. Everything's locked up. I could see it. So by the time you have the meetings and make a decision, you're in July. I don't know the time frame of closing up and getting another company in here for September. I just don't know. I said I've never done that before. Ideally is to do it in May or June to get somebody ready.
Through the chair, is it possible to sit with the company, express our feelings, and give them maybe like a probation until, say, January? Or is it harder to get a bid mid-year? I mean, maybe if they know that we're, how displeased we are and their products aren't even accessible to some of the students, you can't fix what you don't know is broken. So A, is the company aware of our displeasure, and, have we sat with them? And you have?
Yeah, they came and they met with parents at Smith School. That's where most of the feedback has been. There's been some from other schools, but the majority of it's been from Smith School. They did make some changes, or, as people have shared, I don't think there were as many changes that were made or not as effective as we thought they would be, and that's what some people shared tonight, and I do agree with that. As far as a mid-year switch, that would be really difficult. I think the choices that we'd have to consider would be either rebidding it, based on this timeline, which would put us at the end of July, which would make it difficult for a company to transition, or the companies are, but again, we can try it, we can.
Right.
The other thing would be that these contracts are one-year contracts with options for renewal. So you could approve as a one-year contract and then go out to bid again next year. That's an option too. So I think going into the year with maybe we switch in the middle is probably the riskiest choice. But again, my suggestion would be either rebid or now, or rebid a year from now. Either way, it's, there's challenges, but
because I don't want to
we'll do what we need to do.
Based on the feedback, I don't want to approve them either. However, with the majority voting no, then they're absolutely not coming back. And then again, what do we do if we don't get somebody?
Right.
And I wouldn't want that either?
We would also have to have a contingency plan, because you say they absolutely wouldn't be coming back. There is a possibility that we rebid, and they're the only ones who bid again.
Right.
There's also a possibility that nobody bids, and then we'd have to figure that out. So we'd have to work, and we can do that again in our committee, come up with all these types of contingency plans, and Buildings and Grounds Cafeteria Committee, and figure out what we would do if, and we would have, like Mr. Crowdy said, 15 days and for it to be advertised, then more days for them to put in. So, we would have a month to come up with what
Right.
those backup plans might be, but off the top of my head, I'm not sure what they would be.
Right. Yeah, then I would say go forward, and that's just more for security, that we do have something in place, and then try to find something, better.
I guess my concern is kind of the same as Kim's, is that, one, because it just went out for bid, I'm not sure we're gonna get anybody else bidding. But if we do and a new company comes over, I'm very concerned about the timeline and possibly going the first 2 weeks of the entire month of September before anybody new is up and running for the students. It seems like Pontonian, from what I've heard, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, have tried to work with our meetings and have made changes according to the meetings. It seems like it did not get the results we wanted to. But at this stage of the game, I think it's working with them, trying to be more specific about the exact problems and ways to correct what's not working now. And then if it's still not working, please, everybody come back December, January at the very latest, and let us know at that point, because in February, there's plenty of time to go out, get bids, and really work, and get a company to come in full speed and strong day one for our students. I don't want to go for the first month with no lunches for the students, or juggling because Pontonian says, well, we're not gonna bid either, and then trying to figure out in 30 days how we're gonna actually try and feed all of our students. I think that's a risky proposal. I think Pontonian has shown good faith in trying to improve the situation, and it just might need to be more clear or precise, whatever. And then if not, we can, as long as we know that there's major issues, we can bid out early enough to hopefully get other companies involved and do a turnaround at that point.
Another topic that we could discuss, and Mrs. Ween had mentioned this also, the food menu could change if we were willing to raise our prices. So,
Right.
and the amounts I don't know, so I can't say it's 50 cents or it's an extra $1. I don't know. We would have to
Right. And I
figure
think
that out with them. But that is another piece that could be considered too.
From what the public has said, that is definitely, I think, part of the conversation. What does 50 cents or $1 buy us?
But that's a second piece of a conversation, right? If we go out to rebid, then that becomes less relevant, possibly. Or maybe with a new company, or maybe with them later, we have that discussion then. But that would be, if they're approved now, that could be the next conversation. If it's not approved, obviously the more immediate conversation is the rebidding of it. So depending on where it goes, what you decide is which direction, what the next task becomes.
Right, and if it ends up being raising prices to get a better quality food, it just has to move to August meeting and we can move forward. So that there is time for that scenario. So that's my input.
Through the chair, what guides them as far as a menu and a price? Do we give them a price range and then they create a menu? Like, exactly how does that work?
Well, I could comment on some of the items that were brought up tonight, and that's one of them. We're in the federal and state lunch program, so there's guidelines to meet with size portions, salt, and whatever various items that be in there. So we're no different than any other district that's in the program. Now, you could go to see Pontonian on any website, and that district might not be in the program. So they'll have Pontonian and say, look what they have. They're not in the federal and state lunch program, so it's different. So that's number one. Number two, to add the federal and state program, we're talking in the neighborhood of $130,000, which we can't subsidize. So we need that. We need to be in there. Prior to Pontonian coming in 2010, we were subsidizing the food service program by approximately $75,000. That was our own in-house program, and we were subsidizing the budget $75,000. Now we're making money, and to correct the comment that was made earlier in that action item, if at the bottom it says the food service management company, Pontonian, guarantees the LEA, guarantees the district a minimum of $40,000 profit. We're not paying Pontonian. Pontonian's fee is a low $20,000. That's what they they get. They're running the operations, and that's what they get per that meal. They're getting 8 cents, 0.85 cents per meal. They're guaranteed that they will, at the end of the year, we will have in our account a $40,000 operation profit. We've been above that. And that was the reason we were able to get the air conditioning in the cafeterias. That's the guarantee, restriction on account. They have, Pontonian has about, I think, close to 65-70% of Bergen County. They're all over the place. I've heard them on the news, 10-10 wins, they get awards. I'm not defending them. They can come and defend themselves. They came to the meeting. When I reach out, I get the owner, he'll come and they'll address anything. So the items that I heard tonight, I mean, I've heard about, mainly at Smith, the pricing. In fact, I sent them an email tonight. I want to sit with them. I know we got a few days left of school, but I want to sit there and come up with something to do for next year. Even if you have to pay another lunch person to stand there, hand out cards, or do whatever to speed up the line, we'll do it. I haven't heard about the stand being too high. That was the first I heard of that Monday night. The amount of food on the plate, the water not being charged. The stuff, if it's not going to be resolved by food service, it's got to come through the principal to me, through the chair, through the chain. But I said, they're very responsive, but they're working with federal and state restrictions that are tough. And I've said this before, if Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's had to work with these, they'd be out of business too. They won't be hearing complaints. So again, I'm not defending them. You can do what you want with it. I'm just concerned about getting the timelines. I really am, to make that change. It is a 1-year contract. They'll come and they'll meet with us and the committee and correct stuff.
Through the chair, so a school participating in that program participates because we are subsidized by the state for or towards that lunch price? Is that?
Well, the lunch price, like I mentioned on Monday too, the elementary school had increased. The state has another a weighted average. They look at the meals we're selling, the pricing, and they come up with a minimum. We were not at the minimum for the elementary school. We were for the high school. It's $2.70. We're at $2.75 for the high school. So we had increased the elementary price by 10 cents. Again, that's by the state, it's not by Pontonian.
Right.
They have to follow the restrictions. They're coming up with a menu that meets it. They were just in my office yesterday signing with all new laws about the whole grain breads. There's a waiver you can sign for certain things that the government will possibly waive. The pizza, buns to make it more enticing for kids to eat. But again, they're on top of everything. I mean, I mentioned Monday that there was 19 companies that were approved by the state. That's who could bid on. I can't go down to the local pizza place and say, can you bid for us? There's 19. They all know we were up for renewal. I sent the proposal out. It was in the paper. They all have services that tell them it's in the paper. They choose not to bid it. I got 2 requests. I sent it to them. One company was in Pennsylvania. They look at us. They look where they are. Look at the size, and they decide not to do it. I mean, I can't make them do it. Aramark, Chartwells are large companies, and they see Saddlebrook, a small K-12, they don't want to deal with it. Again, not to say you can't make a change.
Any further discussion?
I have other items in that motion. If that's okay. I just want to make sure we're done with that conversation. Yeah. All right, item number 6, I reviewed this Monday night, but the board also does have a full itemized list of all of these purchases. The purchase with Dell is our Chromebook cards for each school, and it's the replacement of obsolete computers. The second bullet there is for additional wireless access points, and the Apple purchase is to upgrade our photo lab here in the high school. In terms of number 9, I'm just repeating things from Monday, but in terms of number 9, which is the contract with the Visions program, it's a 1-year contract. In the past, we'd had 3-year contracts. We're only having a 1-year contract with them at this point because with our new programs at Smith School, we anticipate that we might need those classrooms back the following year. So we've met with them and let them know after Bergen County Special Services know a year, well, 14, 15 months in advance, so they can prepare. But those are rooms that are primary autistic classes will probably need in subsequent years. For number 10, which is allowing a transfer into the capital reserve account, that's a maximum amount, that's not an actual amount. We don't know what funds will be available at the end of the year, but it has to be approved at this meeting. So we approve the maximum allowable amount, and then whatever funds are not encumbered, where we can make a deposit at the end, will be up to that amount. But it won't be $500,000. We wouldn't anticipate that it would be. Number 11 is just an authorization to pay the bills in between board meetings, since we don't have another board meeting until the end of August. That allows the bills to be paid over the summer. And 12 and 13 are individual transportation contracts with parents who transport their children, which is something they are entitled to by state law.
Any further discussion on these items? Roll call, Mr. Karati.
Mr. Buffi?
Yes, but no for number 3.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes to all.
Mrs. Canipico?
Yes, but just to note that, I would like to revisit, more bids for number 3. But I'm voting yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes, but no to number 3.
Mrs. Ottaveli?
Yes, but no to number 3.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes, but no to number 3.
So number 3 does not pass. I will go to seek proposals.
Yes.
All right, motion for items 14 through 26. Just the rest of that section.
A motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, Mr. Karati, please.
Mr. Buffi?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Canipico?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Ottaveli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, no, you told me.
Policy, motion to open the meetings to public for comments on the policies and regulations listed below for the second reading.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Opposed?
Olo Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue, as I stated on Monday, the language is very poor. I contacted the Department of Education. They are gonna get back to me on that, and I pointed out to them that the language is very poor and actually need to be redacted. I questioned them whether the town has to adopt it in its form without any deletions, additions, or anything. So they're gonna get back to me, I guess tomorrow. But then again, I'm very, very disappointed, especially when it comes to drugs, personal staff, or teachers. And again, I want to go on record that just because a teacher is not in charge at a particular function, but if the person brings drugs or pills or whatever, I believe that it should be the same penalty as if he's in charge on that event. Because when you are a role model in a particular group, I believe that the language do not say none of them. But then again, I just contacted the Department of Education, state level, so hopefully tomorrow I will have an answer. But the language, a lot of the policies that you are doing are penalizing more the students, and I don't think that is right. The language is very poor. Thank you.
Anyone else? Motion to close the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I motion for items 1 and 2.
Any discussion?
I don't think anyone made a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion to approve
So
1 and 2.
moved.
Second? Any discussion?
Yeah, just to that comment, we don't have to, Strauss Estimate does provide us with those policies. There are sometimes options in there where we don't have to always adopt it exactly as the language says. And our policy committee does meet and review them and decides when we want to make changes and when we want to leave it as is. Different policies are different because obviously we can't change something that corresponds to a law or a code, but sometimes there are other options. So it's not always exactly adopted as is.
Any other discussion? Roll call, Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Buffi?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zondarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Personnel, motion for item 1.
So move.
Second. Any discussion?
So Jane Ellen Jenkins is here with us tonight, being recommended as our new principal at Long Memorial School. Jane Ellen is coming to us as the assistant superintendent in Bloomfield. Prior to that, she has experience as both a middle school principal and an elementary school principal in Rivervale, and was also a high school assistant principal. So we're really fortunate to have somebody who not only has K-12 building level experience, but K-12 district level experience. And we're always looking for candidates that, one of the things I say repeatedly is we're always looking for people who can bring something to the district that we don't have, who can enhance our schools, enhance our team, and we know that we're getting that in Jane Allen. I want to thank the members of the committee. We had teachers and parents and staff members, and there's a number of staff members here from Long School and our PTO, our PTA representatives. So we appreciate everybody who was a part of that process. And I just want to share a couple of qualities, and what that is our committee, when we were looking for a candidate, before we went into our interviews, we developed a profile of the ideal candidate and what we were looking for in a candidate. And I just want to share what some of those things were, because we believe that we certainly found those qualities in Jane Allen. Outstanding leadership, communication, and decision-making, visible, approachable to students, staff, and parents, an instructional leader who can support the implementation of our district goals, lead new initiatives that will improve teaching and learning, and work with staff to evaluate and monitor the success of our students. Somebody who's knowledgeable of current trends in education with the ability to see how those trends and best practices can connect to our school and students. A person who can motivate and inspire our students and staff members and build a strong sense of togetherness. Someone who acts with integrity and who can be a role model for our students, and someone who's able to engage families as active participants in the educational process. And it's rare to find somebody who has all those qualities, but we think we have. So again, I think there's a bright future ahead for Long School, and we're really excited to have Gina.
Roll call.
Mr. Buffi?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zondarelli? Mr. Garrett?
Yes. Congratulations.
Motion for items 2 through 14.
Motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Buffi?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zondarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Motion items 15 through 27.
Motion to approve?
So move.
Second. Any discussion?
That was up to 27.
Roll call, Mr. Karati?
Mr. Buffi?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zondarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
And motion for items 28 through 41.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Item number 33, with the exhibit has this coaching stipend divided by 2 people. This is, and they want to adjust one of the salaries. This is one position worth 1 stipend that these 2 coaches decided to split.
Right.
And the coaches should be paid evenly. It's
This is
not-
how the current contract is, it's approved the way the current contract is. So anything that would change that would be done through negotiations in a new contract.
I'm under the impression that this is not 2 coaching positions in the current contract. This is 1 coaching position.
Right, that's being split.
They split it
My-
amongst themselves though, not, no?
Yeah, it's one coaching position. In May, the two people are splitting the coaching stipend.
Right.
In May, they were incorrectly put on for step 2 each. One's at step 2, one's at step 1. So the step 2 person's getting half of step 2, step 1 person's gonna get, so it was wrong. So we had to correct that for now, put the one back on step 1. It's the same stipend as $14.50 that they were paid this year.
Are they getting paid evenly?
No, one's on step 2, one's on step 1.
But
It's
how
not
can,
evenly.
but how can you do that if the stipend is one amount? If you give me a check and Mr. Boofy and I decide to split it, you can't adjust his half. You're giving me the stipend and
They're
we're
different
sharing.
rates. They're each being paid half of the step that they're on. So one person's getting half of step 1, and one person's getting half of step 2.
But if it's not two different stipends, I don't understand how, I don't understand that. It's one position.
Because we can't place two different people with different experience on the same step. They're being placed commensurate with their experience.
For the contract.
Okay, I vote no to number 33.
Any other discussion?
Yeah.
Roll call, Mr. Karati.
Mr. Boofy?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes to all except number 33, it's no.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Ottavelli?
Yes, all except number 33.
Mr. Girick?
Yes. Okay, motion for number 42. This is the approval of the merit goals for Dr. Katz for the 2014-15 school year pending approval from the county executive superintendent. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Boofy?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Scarnapieco?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Ottavelli?
Yes.
Mr. Girick?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Committee reports, Mr. Quinn?
Nothing new for Monday.
Nothing new from Monday. Old business? New business?
Through the chair?
Yes.
New business, I'd just like to address Mr. Rodriguez's comment earlier. Now that we're not in public speaking time, yes, I can access that information in a variety of different ways, whether it's through my computer, my note, my phone. I can access any information I need as a board member, basically anytime I need to. So I would just want to clear that up for you. Thank you.
Motion to open the meeting back to the public?
So moved?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anyone wish to address the board?
Michael Kubo, 285 Washington Street. Members of that zoning, the food service people, if parents complain, and as Mr. Karati said, they're willing to sit down and talk. The feeling I get from the parents that I've spoken to, that it's this down placated you, do nothing about it. It change the whole thing. My question is there any recourse during the contract that they're not living up to standards that they're supposed to for the children? Is there any recourse on our part for the contract? Or to hold them accountable?
Is there any recourse? Mr. Robin, that you have?
Yeah, on all contracts, if not live up to the contract, we would go out for proposals.
No, I understand
and
that, but
notice.
it's like they're held hostage.
Yes, there's always an out clause, if that's what you're asking.
No,
Right.
not
Is that what you, oh, that's not what you're
No,
asking.
I'd like to penalize them on their, even though the contract penalties in there, where they're not gonna get their full check. I'm just asking, I'm in business, you sign a contract, you don't give everything, they're gonna take something off.
Right, so you're talking about not paying them for not delivering services, is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just asking, in the business world, this is what we can do. I'm asking, and I don't know, but like, they meet with them, and they yes them to that, and then do nothing. We had one incident where they overcharged my account. I called them, it took me 3 weeks to straighten it out. They sure know that went to tell me his account's low, okay. But it's by the same token, they have to be held accountable if they're not giving quality of food. I know children buy a second lunch, they don't get the full lunch. They don't get some, I think it's milk or something, but that I know from my own son. But that being said, I'm not complaining about the food, there's Nichols likes it. I don't know why. He likes it. But, again, I think that I would like to see less snacks. Everybody's talking about stuff. My son will buy 2 or 3 snacks. And again, I guess they don't, because I'm not there. I think we should cut down something, make them give healthier snacks.
I think at this point in the ballgame, it's going back out to bid, so.
I know, we're gonna be in trouble if we don't. But I'm just asking, if, as an alternative.
I understand.
Is that a thing, hold account for a year. If you're not doing it, what can we do to them? I mean, we'd like to help hostage. If they don't, or, I don't know, when you sit down with them, they sat down, was there someone from the board there, or from the administration there, sitting with them, listening to people fight?
Yes.
And did they, again, according to, they said they never comply. Is there, when they do that, I'm not saying they do, they don't, they do it, do we have any recourse to it? Or to hold them accountable, that they're not doing something? In fact, I've never been to the cafeteria, I have no idea what goes on, but they put trays on top of another, there's more to help in there, but then, tell them, if that's what they're doing, that's unsanitary. I mean, it's not just ours or the board's responsibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah, 246 Oxford Ave. I was just wondering if you were going to go over the findings or anything on the hidden cases that were in there.
Those are reviewed
Or
in,
how you go about finding out what the findings were.
those are reviewed in closed session. Obviously, there's student information as a part of that, but anyone who's involved receives a letter after the board takes action.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Go on me, go talk to them, don't do that again.
Ay, ay, ay. Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue. I believe that the prior subject about the bids, it was more of a question for the attorney. I do not know the specifics of the bids. Sometimes when the bids are rejected, not to open legal liabilities, usually it's handled by the attorney. Based on what grounds, 39, I feel sympathetic with the relatives, parents, they are the person who most concerned about the kids. And actually, this was an ongoing situation that has been coming for months. I believe that it has been, should be addressed different. It's been happening apparently for a while now. Why wait for last month? Actually, they didn't decide to come to this moment to try to be against the wall when they're going to have food for the kids in September. Actually, it should be more of a vision, lack of vision from the leaders, actually, in order to address this problem at the proper time. But then again, when I said legal liabilities, is because the company might just come back and just ask, I was the sole bidder based on what you are rejecting the bid. Complaints? From who? So again, there are different type of bids. And I don't know the particular situation in this one, but I believe, as an advice, next time when we are going to do that, in order to avoid liabilities to the town, I believe that, to the chair, I would like to ask the next time, just refer those type of questions to the attorney. And she will be properly telling you how to to just go to vote for that particular case. But anyhow, moving forward, I would just like to address, Mr. Quinn, real quick. I'm not gonna waste much time on this one. When I mentioned dedicated laptop, I'm not talking about the laptop at the house. I'm talking a laptop like that one, $50 laptop that you have, that you should have it at all times. That all particular documents pertaining to that the school district should be in the hands of elected officials. So whenever they come here or at any given time, they got information, the fingertips, not mixed with the personal or private information at home. Because whatever they have at home should not, I don't think they should be mingled with the school district business. There's a lot of subjects that are important, especially when we are in budget times or crunching times, that you need to discuss with other colleagues. I believe that all of you will be on the same page, same documents being received. All of you should refer to a particular document, even if it's from last month, and address it. Listen, in the second paragraph of last month, we said this, now we're saying this. Right now, all you just received is an email. And I don't see technology working at a full percent or at 100%. And a lot of the ones goes without questions, maybe because some of you know what you're going to say, but when you come here, you are afraid that your colleagues are not on the same page or not reading the same document that you read. For your own sake, I'm just saying you should have a dedicated laptop. Is the minimum that you can do. It's a $50 investment. That's the least that you can do, and it will save time and thousands of dollars in the long run. With that being said, that's the end. It's up to you to decide. A few dollars here, a few dollars there is not going to do nothing. Believe me, what it's going to make a lot of difference is all the cell phones that we are paying for a lot of school district employees. My question is, why should we pay? Why? Some of you are making over $150,000 and not to pay a bill of $120 a month. That's being greedy, I think. But, God forbid, maybe he's right, they need it. Then you should be able, in good business practice, just be able to allow the public, or any of you, to just review the itemized bill. You just have to carry it. Every month they want the itemized bill for every single one of my cell phones. And that will save the district thousands and thousands of dollars. With that being said, on Monday, thank God that I got a few responses after a long while. I just want to clarify, and I don't want to just go basically confrontational or just looking who's right, who's wrong. And I believe it's the first step into looking into better communication. Basically, Mr. Katz and Mr. Karate addressed me after I just left here. I just want to point out how this whole thing is started on favoritism, and I don't like it, because what is good for me should be good for everybody. What is bad for me, it should be bad for everybody. How this started when I made the Oprah request, when I was cut off in the first part, I was saying that I make an Oprah request, but I didn't receive a signing sheet for the last 2 weeks on the supervisor of building and grounds. So I emailed back and I said, Mr. Karate, why I still don't get the supervisor of building and grounds? No response. Another email, no response. Okay. I was in the area at lunchtime and I decided to visit. Knock on the door. So, you know what? Maybe nothing else. I'm not getting through, or what is the problem? Signing the sheet, and I just said, listen, I want to do another Oprah on this particular person because I'm missing. I got all the employees, as you can remember, most of them do their own time sheets. Some of them got 70 hours overtime, some of them 80 hours, some others just scratch and scrabble. I think a third grader can do a better job than that one. And I said it over and over again that that's not the best way to control the monies of all the residents in Saddlebrook. Some of those monies should be in better ways, like in the classrooms, not just trying to figure out why this is a number or why this is scrabble or scribble there. And when I went over there, I'm trying to sign again in Oprah, I was told, specifically quote unquote, that salary employees don't have to do signing sheets. Oh, now, if somebody that is in a salary, then I said to myself, do not come to work, how the rest of the administration know who didn't come to work? How do you know when that person takes vacation day? I believe that a teacher or any other employee, they have to put forward a request for personal sick time in advance, or even for sick time, they put it in advance, for vacation, they put it in advance. But God forbid one of you don't come to work, nobody knows if you're on vacation, nobody knows if you are in Hawaii, or if you're at work. God forbid an accident happen for insurance purposes, how do you know? Who do we have to find? Is that person in the building, is at home, or is in Hawaii? So that's what I think is important, also to lead by example, and if we are going to require all the school district, all other school district employees to sign in, some of them sign in, or others punch in, punch out, the least that the school leader should do is to sign in by hand. Some people in other districts went to jail for not doing some of those time sheets. This is very serious, and especially when you are dealing with Black Seal licenses. So that's food for thought. But then again, just going back to the situation, so I was told that basically salary employees do not have to do a sign in, and I refused to take that as an answer and say, I'm still going to have an Oprah. And then again, by the time that the secretary was telling me, well, we still did this, then again, another person comes and listen, the administrator don't want you to say nothing no more. He's just right there listening to everything. He doesn't want you to talk. I said, wow. That's fine. Went to Mr. Katz, secretary, says, I would like to speak to Mr. Katz. He can't talk to me. Okay, fine. I said, I'm going to give up. I came here for many months, or many meetings, and you heard me saying right here that what is good for me is good for everybody, and what's bad for me should be bad for everybody. And that's the reason why all these entails. And I don't have a problem. If they don't want to see me there, any questions and comments that they want me to do in writing, then everybody should do the same. That entails me to another question. One of my Oprahs was, coincidence or not, they never answered my questions, but it was another person right here, and they questioned, how much does it cost to put together those Oprahs? Wow, out to the sand. They say how much it costs. Was that a coincidence, or is a magician and they have the numbers right here? Of course, everything was a stage. But I don't have a problem with it, because this is America, and anybody, even don't even have to be a resident of Saturday, can Oprah any document. And that's where you have even an excess of personnel. Because in the past, I can understand that a lot of them were doing a lot of copies, but now they don't even make copies. They have reduced personnel. And I don't want to even go into that. But then, shame on the people that are trying to stop or suppress freedom of speech in America. And this is the forum where the elected officials have to listen and defend the rights of the residents, and in this particular case of the parents. Whenever you guys are not doing right, we have the right to express and to make you see it in a different way. That brings me into basically another topic, that when I asked for a list of vendors, a particular landscaping company was not on the vendors list. I was told by Mr. Karate specifically that the reason why it doesn't show on the vendors list, it is because they hardly do any work in town. Very rare. Well, coincidence or not, lately I've been seeing that company doing a lot of work in different schools. Where that takes me back into my request of putting all the bills online on the name of transparency. What is wrong with you people who are not putting it online? What is wrong? Are we violating anything? Being transparent means you paying $2 million a month. We want to know, or sometimes $3 million a month, $3.5 million a month. So let's just see, who are you paying to? Nothing wrong with that. It's transparency. So now, that even takes me into another question that I've been keeping for a long time, doing shared services with the town, in which the town have DPW personnel to do the building and grounds. School district got their own personnel doing building and grounds. But apparently, it is not enough. That we are requesting a private company to do the job during the daytime. So somebody can explain to me, why do we have to use a private company when we have our own resources? In the past, there was a lot of talk about privatizing that particular area. And I'm not going to argue that whether it's good, bad, or different. What I want to argue is we can't have both sides of the stick. We're going to have private people doing what our employees are supposed to do. So I think that you have to define as members, what are we going to do? Are we going to use private employers? Or are we going to use our own employees? Or should we be better to share services with DPW? So finally, I would like to say that I've been coming for a while now, and the only reason I come over here is to open your eyes that is nothing wrong with questions. I'm not the owner of the truth. Sometimes I just put ideas out there, and it's for you to debate them, because that's what democracy is all about. The professionals right here can be questioned, and I said before, the attorney will just give you professional advice, but it's up to you to whether you want to take it or not. So then again, no one should be embarrassed by asking questions every single minute, because every single dollar that it goes on is sometimes taken out of the classroom. Thank you all for listening. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll make this short and sweet. First of all, members of the Board of Education, thank you very much for volunteering your time for our children. Mr. Katz, Mr. Karati, I know you work very hard. Everybody on this board should be treated with respect. Yes, everybody has freedom of speech. This is a democracy. But it's also important that you treat people like human beings. You don't attack them. You treat them with the respect that they deserve. They've been elected officials. They should be given the respect that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue. The last speaker who was here. I'm not here for the show. I'm not here for the gallery. I've been coming right here for so many months, almost every single week. And I'm very, very delicate working with all these policies that you're working. And I'm not going to go down just because it's one more club, two less clubs. That doesn't mean nothing. What it means right here, what is more important, is that people understand how the monies are being spent. And a lot of the people that just come for the show right here don't even understand what it's about. I can assure you that. And anytime I can lecture anyone about budgets, because I've been a financial controller for over 18 years. Thank you very much.
Well, I haven't been in this house long, but in the little time that I've been here, I've seen every single person on the board give all their efforts and their time, and you don't get paid for it, or volunteer. And I've seen a lot of people go back and forth tonight, and you know what? I never see the people that are insulting others at the school volunteering their time where the children need us. At field day, or at some bake sales, or whatever it is that we're having, you should be there and volunteer your time and say what you're saying with your actions.
not just your words. Thank you.
Anyone else? Motion to close the meeting to the public?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion to recess to close executive session to discuss personnel contract.
Before you do, I just have one comment.
Sure.
Just a comment that, a couple comments I made Monday and also tonight, directed at me. I'm not gonna stand for it here. I've answered questions, maybe not that night. I followed up with them Mondays, Wednesdays. I've answered questions. I've answered Oprah requests. I don't care if you Oprah request every document in the district. They will provide it. When I come and tell you that it's not available, it's not available. You keep asking about it, you keep asking about it. You twist things, you said things up here that are not correct.
Mr. President, I'd like to respond to a
Sure.
couple points as well, just a couple things. I do give the board legal advice. Any legal advice I give the board is done either in an executive session or to be given for a reason. Those items are privileged and protected by the attorney-client privilege for a reason, to protect all of your taxpayer dollars and to protect this board, and the operations and the process. So that I want to make clear. So I can't answer any specific questions about Tony, but I did want to address Mr. Kufo's question. Typically, these are state operating contracts, and they do not provide, I have to, take a closer look, but they don't typically provide for a right of offset, which is what I think you were implying, whether or not we can hold some payment. So it would have to be a breach of contract. The burden is, pretty high. So I just wanted to address that generally.
Thank you. Need a motion to recess to close executive session to discuss personnel contract negotiations, pending anticipated litigation, and matters covered by the attorney-client privilege per NJSA 10-4-16 Open Public Meetings Act. Subject matter discussed may be disclosed to the public if and when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Action may be taken when the board reconvenes in open session. Motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.